Shalom. Call Hungalinga Yahabashim Yahushai Bashim Rakakwadash. Double honors to the elders and the apostles, the great mystery of the well, Shalom to the 144,000, the one-third remnant men, women, and children of the hopeful elect, Shalom. This is the brother Gabar Yash coming back at you with another lesson. Through the spirit and power of Yahabashim Yahushai, I pray it's a quick lesson, be edifying and straight to the point. We're going to make this very quick, man, because prophecies are speeding up, man. So, let's read this article from the endtimeheadlines.org. It says Pentagon warns future wars may strike on U.S. soil as direct military threats grows. Yeah, and that's true. The the ultimate war is World War III. Okay, yeah, the major war, the major prophecy, where these nations are going to nuke out Babylon the Great. Okay, and also, you got civil wars brewing, okay? The chaos that's going on in, you know, Minneapolis, okay? So, yeah. So, let's get a good scripture right quick, okay? So, yeah, this is the times we're in. As a matter of fact, let me start off with this scripture, okay? Ecclesiastes chapter 3, verse 1, then I'm going to jump down to verse 8. Excuse me. To everything there is a season and a time to every purpose under the heaven. Okay. Verse 8. A time to love and a time to hate, a time of war and a time of peace. We're in a time of hate and war. Okay. That's the times that we're in, man. Okay. And things are going to escalate. Okay. So let's go to 2nd Ezra chapter 9 and verse 1. He answered me then and said, Measure thou the time diligently in itself, and when thou seest part of the signs past which I have told thee before. And we see the signs, okay? The signs, hey, the writing is on the wall, man. Prophecies are moving fast, okay? Verse 2. Then shalt thou understand that it is the very same time wherein the highest will begin to visit the world which he made. And you seeing that, man. Okay, you're starting to see that. Verse 3. Therefore, when there should be seen earthquakes and uproars of the people in the world, and you're seeing uproars of the people, not just in other places, man. You're starting to see that come here to Babylon, the Great America. Okay? Wars and rumors of wars, man. Civil war. Egyptian against the Egyptian. Okay, we're gonna get those scriptures. Second is the 15th chapter. That's jumping about to literally jump off the pages. We're close. Okay? Very, very close at hand. Verse 4. Then shalt thou well understand that the Most High, Yahweh Shem Yahushua, spake of those things from the days that were before thee, even from the beginning. These things were spoken from the beginning by the prophets of old. And those prophets are back today prophesying. Okay? We don't know who's who and which is which. But at the end of the day, through the spirit and power of Yahweh Shem Yahushua, Lord willing, we're those prophets that are back and are not prophesying as we're commanded to, man. Okay. Verse 5. For like as all that is made in the world have a beginning and an end, and the end is manifest. The end is being manifest as we speak. Okay. Let me go to another scripture and then I'm gonna go to the article. Let's go to Jeremiah chapter 28. Yeah, move that. Jeremiah chapter 28, verse 8. Okay. Jeremiah chapter 28, verse 8. Watch this. The prophets that have been before me and before thee of old prophesied both against many countries, against great kingdoms, of war and of evil and of pestilence. Okay. You see that? So the prophets of old are back prophesying what we brought. We're prophesying against great kingdoms, Esau's kingdom, all right, this wicked kingdom known as Babylon the Great America, of war. We're warning you about World War III, okay, civil war, civil unrest, evils, and pestilence, man, okay? So, let's go to this article and let's read, all right? Clear that and clear that. All right. You see the title, we read it. So let's read. It says the Pentagon's newly released National Defense Strategy warns that future wars may reach American soil as direct military threats to the homeland grows. See? You hear that? Let's read this. I gotta read this again, man, because this is beautiful. We're in some beautiful, exciting times, man. It says the Pentagon newly released National Defense Strategy warns that future wars may reach American soil, and that is absolutely correct. It is. It's all look. It's already here. You see what's going on in Minneapolis, man. Okay, the Civil War is brewing. Wars and rumors of wars, man. Okay? You starting to see that now. It says as direct military threats to the homeland grows. Yeah. And of course, these nations, man, these EU and NATO nations are starting to turn on Babylon. Then, like it tells you in Revelation chapter 17, verse 16, these nations shall hate the whore. Okay? These nations are starting to turn on Babylon, man. They're seeing they're seeing Babylon the Great America for what it truly is, man. Okay. According to Fox News reporting on the shift in U.S. defense priorities, the strategy marks a significant departure from traditional U.S. military doctrine that focused primarily on overseas threats, emphasizing instead that the United States must be prepared both to defend against attacks on its own territory and to combat and to conduct combat operations directly from the homeland if necessary. Come on, man. We're here, man. Okay, you heard it. Yeah. And America is, let me be honest with you, America is not ready for what's about to hit them, man. Babylon the Great America is not ready for World War III. It ain't even ready for what's about to come. Okay? According to the strategy document, adversaries have developed and expanded capabilities that pose more direct military threats to the American homeland, including nuclear weapons, and a range of conventional systems, as well as space, cyber, and electromagnetic war. Bro, hey, it's over, man. It's over. Babylon is through. Let's get a scripture, man. I gotta get scripture now, man. Excuse me. Let's go. Let's go to Joel. Joel 3. Let's start at the top. Joel chapter 3 and verse 1. For behold, in those days and in that time, when I shall bring again the captivity of Judah and Jerusalem, we're about to be set free out of this captivity, man. Our punishment is about up. Esau's punishment is just beginning because of the curses that are now starting to befall upon them, man. Deuteronomy 30 and 7. Okay? And plus, with that, I'm gonna get the scripture. All right, like it says, a house divided cannot stand. Yeah, Esau is a house divided. These Edomites are divided against one another. Verse 2, I will also gather all nations and bring them down into the valley of Jehoshaphat, and will plead with them there for my people and for my heritage Israel, the Israelites, you so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans, whom they have scattered among the nations and have parted my land. Who's over there claiming to be the people, man? Okay? They're over there, these Amalek is over there claiming to be the people, and they're not. Okay? So let's jump down to verse 9 now. It says, proclaim ye this among the Gentiles, prepare war, wake up the mighty men, let all the men of war draw near, let them come up. The Lord Yahweh Shem Yahshua is gathering these nations into the valley of decision. Okay? So the Lord Yahweh Shem Yahshua is about to judge these nations. Okay? Verse 10, beat your plowshares into swords and your pruning hooks into spears. That's talking about the missiles. Let the weak say, I'm strong. Okay? These nations, like it said in the article, these nations now that didn't have nuclear capabilities, they do now. It's open for Babylon. Okay? Verse 11, assemble yourselves and come all ye heathen, and gather yourselves together round about. Hither cause thy mighty ones to come down, O Lord Yahweh Shem Yahushua. Verse 12, let the heathen be wakened and come up into the valley of Yahushua, for there I will sit to judge all the heathen round about. Okay? It's about to be on pretty soon, man. But first, the MOTB's got to be made mandatory. That's made another major prophecy we're waiting on. Okay? Verse 13, put ye in the sickle, for the harvest is ripe. The harvest is ripe, man. Okay? Come, get you down, for the press is full, the fat overflow, for their wickedness is great. Isn't this talking about Esau, man? And as a matter of fact, let's prove that. Let's go to Isaiah. Isaiah chapter 34, man. And let's see. Yeah, I'm gonna read down to verse 8. Isaiah chapter 34, verse 1 through 8. Come near, ye nations, to heart. Let me read that again. Slocky. Isaiah 34 and verse 1. Come near, ye nations, to hear, and hearken, ye people ye people, let the earth hear, and all that is therein, the world, and all things that come forth of it. Verse 2, for the indignation of the Lord Yahweh Shem Yahushua is upon all nations, and his fury is upon all their armies. So how can all nations be saved if the Lord is saying the indignation, that righteous hatred is upon all nations, including Edom, man? Come on. And his fury is upon all their armies. He hath utterly destroyed them. He hath delivered them to the slaughter. Verse 3, their slain also shall be cast out, and their stink shall come up out of their carcasses, and the mountains shall be melted with their blood, man. This place is gonna melt with fervent heat, man. The ICBMs, okay? Verse 4. All the host of heaven, the armies of Yahweh Shem Yahushua, okay, shall be dissolved. No, Slocky, I misspoke. All the hosts of heaven. This talking about the armies of Esau, man. Okay? Alright? Slocky, I misspoke. Tongue twisted. Isaiah 34 and verse 4 again. Let's read that again. It says, all the hosts of heaven, this is talking about Esau's kingdom and his armies, shall be dissolved, and the heavens shall be rolled together as a scroll, and all their hosts shall fall down, as the leaf falleth off from the vine, as a falling fig from the fig tree. Okay, and it's talking about Esau's kingdom. Verse 5, for my sword shall be bathed in heaven. Behold, it shall come down upon Idumea and upon the people of my curse to judgment. That sword is talking about the ICBMs. Okay, Idumea is the Greek way for saying Edom. Okay, so Edom's about to get his ass kicked, man. He's about to be taken out of power. Verse 6, the sword of the Lord Yahweh Shem Yahushua is filled with blood. It is made fat with fatness. This lines up with Joel, the 3rd chapter, we just read. And with the blood of lambs and goats, and with the fat of the kidneys of rams. For the Lord Yahweh Shem Yahushua have a sacrifice in Bozrah, and a great slaughter in the land of Idumea. Okay? Bozrah is talking about America. Okay? Where Esau dwells and where he basically, rules. Okay? Verse 7, and the unicorn shall come down with him, and the bullocks with the bull, and their land shall be soaked with blood, and their dust made fat with fatness. Yeah. The nuclear missile is going to hit this place. It's going to completely wipe out America, Babylon the Great, man. Verse 8, and this is why. For it is the day of the Lord Yahweh Shem Yahushua's vengeance, and the year of recompense. for the controversy of Zion, for what these devils did to the children of Israel, you Israelites. Now let's go to Mark. Because, like I say, a nation divided cannot stand. Mark chapter 3 and verse 23. And he called them unto him and said unto them in parables, how can Satan cast out Satan? Verse 24. And if a kingdom be divided against itself, that kingdom cannot stand. Esau's kingdom is divided amongst itself, man. That's why you're starting to see what you see. All right, the Egyptian against the Egyptians. These Edomites now starting to go at each other. Yeah, they're gonna come after Jake, but the most of the part, they're gonna fight each other. Okay, verse 25. And if a house be divided, it's against itself. That house cannot stand. Esau's race is divided. Even his own women are turning against him, man. Okay, they're living in some beautiful times, man. We really are. Call him like how about Shimmy outside? Verse 26. And if Satan rise up against himself and be divided, he cannot stand but have an end. And we're at the excuse me, and with the end of Esau Edom's kingdom. Esau is the end of the world of this age, and Jacob is the beginning of it that followeth. Okay, let's go back to the article. So these nations now that didn't have nuclear capabilities, they do now, man. Okay, it can also hit what they say right there, electromagnetic matic warfare tools, man, which can wipe out Babylon's electricity, man. Can put Babylon in the dark. Okay. It says in response, the strategy elevates homeland defense above all other missions, signaling a shift in research resource locking, a location, and planning to address evolving global threats. Can't stop what's coming. Look, America, Babylon the Great can't stop what's coming. Okay. The document notes that countries such as Russia and China already poses intercontinental ballistic missiles (ICBMs) that can reach the continent. United States, Babylon the Great, and North Korea has tested long range missiles that U.S. officials assess could strike U.S. territories. Come on, man. Over with. That's why we read Joel, what? The third chapter. Joel chapter 3, verse 9 and 10. Okay? It says, let the weak say I'm strong. These nations that didn't have nuclear capabilities, they do now. Which means Babylon the Great is in trouble. Okay? Iran, while viewed as a regional threat, is not believed to currently having the ability to reach the U.S. homeland. Yes, they can with ballistic missiles. Yes, they can. Yes, they do. That's a lie. It says in practical terms, the Pentagon plans to prioritize expanded missile defense system, which is not gonna fucking work, enhanced counter drones capabilities, which is not gonna work either, and strengthen cyber defense. That ain't gonna work either. Look, Babylon the Great America is ripe. Okay, the harvest is ripe here in Babylon. This place is doomed for destruction. And no, look, nobody can stop it. Okay, prophecy is going to be fulfilled. It says military planners also emphasize the need to develop long range strike forces capable of decisive operations that could be launched from within the United States. That ain't going to work either. Okay. Look, none of this stuff that they talking about, like it says, why do the heathen rage and the people imagine a vain thing? Psalms 2 and 1. Okay? They're trying to author Bible prophecy. You cannot author Bible prophecy. Babylon is done, man. Okay? Let's see. Let's read a little bit more. It says the strategy also underscores efforts to harden critical infrastructure, both military and civilian, against potential hostile actions. This includes initiatives aimed at reducing vulnerabilities to cyber attacks and improving resilience against sophisticated arsenal aerial assaults. Lucky. In addition to defense measures, the strategy advocates continued modernization of the U.S. nuclear U.S. nuclear deterrent and reaffirm that the nation should never, will never be vulnerable to nuclear back back blackmail, which is a bunch of little BS, man. Like I say, can't stop the inevitable. Okay, can't stop the inevitable. This is gonna happen. While the Pentagon has historically focused on deterring conflict abroad, the shift reflects the view that emerged technologies and expanding strike capabilities of adversaries make the U.S. homeland more exposed than in previous areas eras. The strategy stresses that the readiness and deterrence now requires a more comprehensive approach to national defense that accounts for threats posed both overseas and on America's soil. Okay, I'll put the rest of this in the description box. You can read it. But without further ado, let's get some more scriptures, man. We're gonna wrap this thing up. Okay, so look, America can't look. The destruction of Babylon, the Great America, is gonna happen. Can't stop the inevitable. Jeremiah 51 and verse 7. Babylon had been a golden cup in the Lord Yahweh's hand that made all the earth drunken. The nations have drunken of her wine, therefore the nations are mad. The nations are tired of America, Babylon the Great. Okay? Verse 8. Babylon is suddenly fallen and destroyed. Howl for her, take balm for her pain, and so she may be healed. We would have healed Babylon, but she is not healed. Forsake her, and let us go every one into his own country, for her judgment reacheth unto heaven, and is lifted up even to the skies. So there's no stopping the inevitable. Okay? Get another scripture. Let's go down to verse see. Let's read verse 44 through 46. And I will punish Baal in Babylon, and I will bring forth out of his mouth that which he has swallowed up. And that's talking about the children of Israel. And the nations shall not flow together any more until it's not unto him. Yea, the wall of Babylon shall fall, and this place is falling fast, man. Okay, verse 45. My people, go ye out of the midst of her. That don't mean leave the country. Okay, it literally means detach yourself from this place. Okay, and deliver ye every man his soul for the fierce anger of the Lord. Yahweh. Verse 46. And lest your heart shall faint, and ye fear for the rumor that shall be heard in the land. A rumor shall both come 1 year, and after that in another year shall come a rumor. Violence in the land, rumor against ruin. This is what we're headed towards. World War III, man. These nations are starting to hate the horror. Let's get that scripture. Revelation chapter 17, verse 16. And the 10 horns which thou sawest upon the beast, these shall hate the whore. The EU and NATO nations are starting to turn upon Babylon, man. The whore, America. And shall make her desolate and naked, and shall eat her flesh and burn her with fire. This place gonna be burned with thermonuclear fire, man. There's no stopping Bible prophecy. Okay? There's no stopping the inevitable. Verse 17, for Yahweh have put in their hearts, which means their minds, to fulfill his will. The will of Yahweh Shem Yahshua is going to be fulfilled. Okay? And to agree and to give their kingdoms unto the beast until the words of Yahweh shall be fulfilled. Verse 18, and the woman which thou sawest is that great city which reigneth over the kings of the earth. And this is America. Okay? So let's go Second Ezra, the 15th chapter, man, because this is about to take place. Okay? Civil war. All right. Egyptian against Egyptian. Isaiah 19, verse 2. Okay? War on American soil is also about to take place. Civil war. Second Ezra chapter 15 and verse 14. Woe to the world and them that dwell therein. Verse 15, for the sword and their destruction draweth nigh, and one people shall stand up and fight against another, and swords in their hands. The modern day sword is the gun. But there's also going to be swords, okay? People going to be using hammers, anything that's a killing instrument, okay? It's going to be used during these civil wars and civil unrest, okay? Verse 16, for there shall be sedition among men and invading one another. They shall not regard their kings nor princes, in the course of their actions shall stand in their power. You see what's going on in Minneapolis. People are starting to take matters into their own hands. Okay? And plus, you're supposed to have some type of protest this weekend. People protesting, the the ICE people, the ICE agents. Okay? Verse 17. And this is what Esau wants, man. Okay? Because once that happens, this is going to happen. Verse 17. A man shall desire to go into a city and shall not be able. Martial law. Okay? They want these people to react to what's going on. This is why Esau's creating the problems. The Hegelian dialect. Problem, reaction, solution. They're creating the problems, the people react so they can bring forth a solution. And their solution is to lock America, Babylon the Great down, turn it into a digital prison where you won't be able to travel. Why you think they're creating those 15-minute cities? Okay? They want you locked up in a digital prison, man. Okay? Verse 18, for because of their pride, the city shall be troubled, the houses shall be destroyed, and men shall be afraid. Verse 19, a man shall have no pity upon his neighbor, but shall destroy their houses with the sword and spoil their goods because of the lack of bread and for great tribulation. Okay? So, we're here, man. Okay? What more can we say to you Israelites, man? Okay, the warning has gone out. So now the Lord Yahweh Shai is starting to bring the judgment. Okay. So with that, I'm gonna end the lesson here. I pray this lesson was edifying and straight to the point. Call Hala Yahweh Shai. By Hashem Rakakwadash. Shalom on to next time. Kwam Yasharanga. Why a Bible ball. Shalom.